Throughout the session, please feel free to unmute and ask a question or put your questions in the chat. We want to make sure you get the most out of this um, webinar as possible. So on the call with me today, I have Stella Salome. She's going to do the technical portion of our demo today. And Charlene is also here. She'll be helping moderate the chat and also sending out the information post-webinar. The agenda for today, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Marquee 360 if you're not familiar with our company already. We're going to talk about portfolio management in Planner and what those capabilities are if you're just using Planner. And then we're going to talk about how we manage portfolios in our PPM360 tool. And all of that is going to be demoed to you. So a little bit about Marquee 360. We actually just yesterday was announced that we won we were a finalist for project and portfolio management for Partner of the Year from Microsoft. So this is our 4th year being recognized by Microsoft. Our team is very seasoned on the Microsoft platform. They've been working with Microsoft since Project Server, so they've seen many iterations of the platforms and work to build our solutions with best practices and requests from PMOs. And all of our tools are built on the Planner and Power platform, and that just helps our customers utilize their Microsoft 365 investment that they're already paying for. So our focus as a company is on innovation. So like I said, we work on work a lot with the Power Platform, and we bring all of your manual processes and all of your siloed workplaces all together in one connected platform. And then we also extend the capabilities of some of the Microsoft tools you might already be using. But we want to make sure that our customers are getting the latest technology, and we follow closely with the Microsoft roadmap to make sure we're up to date and also our customers their systems are up to date as well. We focus a lot on customer success and support. So before an implementation, we do an extensive requirements gathering with our customers to make sure that they're getting the most out of the technology and that it aligns with their business processes and requirements. And then we do have post-implementation support and training workshops to make sure that your team's adopting the platform and everybody's utilizing it. So Project Online is reaching end of life. This is something that we just like to talk about before all of our webinars to make sure that everyone's aware. After September 30th, 2026, you will no longer have access to PWA. So if your team is using Project Online, please let us know. We've put in tools in place to migrate you off of Project Online, whether that means modernizing with Planner and PPM360 or migrating to Project Server. So if there is anybody on the call who needs help, please reach out to us. And the new Microsoft Planner. So the new Microsoft Planner, simple, flexible, scalable, and intelligent. So it gives you those Kanban boards, drag and drops, makes things super easy and simple for your team, but it also has capabilities in there that are going to look familiar to you. And Microsoft is constantly building new capabilities into Planner. Daily, weekly, monthly, we're seeing new functionality. So it's really starting to be more robust for higher lifting project functionality. And then our PPM 360 sits on top of Planner and accelerates those capabilities even more. So it's going to look really familiar for people who are using Project Online, but with that modern UI. So, and it's all using the Microsoft tools, as you can see. So there's no custom coding. Once you have it, if you have a team of developers, it's easy to make some changes. If you need us to make the changes, it doesn't take a whole lot of hours to make those because we're utilizing Power Apps and Power Automate. And you're going to see that Planner has their own portfolio function, but also with our PPM 360 portfolio, you're going to see a lot more heavier lifting portfolio planning and program management. So Stella will walk you through that as well. But I just wanted to give you guys a little snapshot before she digs in. And I'm going to pass it over to Stella. And if anyone has any questions about Planner or anything I talked about while she's getting her screen up and ready, please feel free to put it in the chat or unmute.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stella Simpson. Aaron mentioned Stella Salome, recently married, so it's now Stella Simpson.
Hi, Stella.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I'm still getting used to it myself. So my name is Stella Simpson. I'm a solutions architect here at Marquee 360. As Aaron mentioned, I'll be doing a demo today on portfolio management. We'll go ahead and start in Planner. So I'm sharing my screen here. And as you can see, one thing I want to touch on first is how to access Planner and where. So we have Planner within Teams, as you can see here. So I have the Teams browser open. To get to Planner, we can go to view more apps. I would type in Planner and then I would click on it, and that's how I get it here on the left hand. To keep it here, I would right click and press pin. So it's already pinned, so it's telling me to unpin here. And then to get the traditional planner, we can obviously go here, Microsoft 365, search for planner, and that's the traditional application. Now, one thing that I like to mention here is that the benefits of using Planner within Teams is that Planner is something that Microsoft is investing a lot of money in right now, and it's continuously getting new updates. They actually released the newest updates to Planner within Teams first before rolling it out to the traditional Planner app. So you'll notice some features as you're using it that you'll see within Planner within Teams that are not like in the traditional application. So that's something important to mention. I typically use the Planner within Teams to make sure I'm always getting the most updated view of it. Now, for those of you familiar with Planner, you have here on your left-hand nav, the My Day. These are tasks that are due today. So obviously this webinar is today. I'm going to go ahead. It's in progress right now. We'll just go ahead and mark it completed. I can also manage things from my board. As you can see here, this is completed. I can group by progress, due date, priority, or plan. Now here's my tasks, which I'm going to see tasks across all the plans that I have assignments on, as you can see here. And I can manage these here as well. So with the board, I can group by progress, due date, priority, or plan as well. And I can simply drag and drop as well. Now, under my plans, I'm going to see all of the plans that I either own or that I've been added to, as you can see here. So some are private plans. So you can see only you, Stella's new project. And then I have some that I can see who's been shared with as well. Now, as we know, to create a new plan, I'm going to select new plan here below, and then I can pick basic, premium, or plan with project manager for those of you who have the Copilot license. Now, if we take a quick look at a premium plan that's already been created, I can see here that I'm going to have my 15 what I like to call out of the box Microsoft columns, plus the ability to create up to 10 custom task columns, as you can see here.
Hey, Stella.
Yes.
Sorry, we did have a question in the chat. Well, more of a request. If you could point out any features not available in GCC. I know it's a little nuanced, so if you could just try your best as you're going through. And then Matthew, I know you put that in there. If we need to jump on a separate session offline, we're more than happy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aaron, we do have that one webinar that I did that focused on GCC. That might be good to send him the
Yes, we
link.
have that slide too, that
Yeah.
points out all the licensing, so we can send it over too.
Yeah, so Matthew, we do have a slide that has all the features. I'm not going to be able to cover them all today's session. We have a slide that Aaron can send you. That's a really nice comparison of the features. So one I will talk about is that if I go into task details here, one thing I'm not going to have for government community cloud is something called task history. So if I look at this task history here, I can see like I edited the task number, outline, edited objective, All of this here, for some reason, is something not available for government community cloud right now. That's just one of the many things. As you can see here, I have my multiple views, right? So I have grid. Goals is something Microsoft recently created. They're really pushing on here. It's like you can create a goal and assign it. You can only have one goal to one task. Of course, I have my board view where it's currently grouped by sprint, but I can group by bucket. I have this nice color coding here. I can group by assigned to, progress, finish date, labels, priority, sprint, and goals. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing like a very high level review of a plan because this is portfolios management session. So I want to focus mostly on portfolios, but I do want to start off at the project level just to kind of give you an overview for those of you who aren't familiar with Planner. So I have my timeline view. As you can see here, I can see who the task is assigned to. And I can see my timeline view. Milestones are indicated by this diamond icon. Milestone is any task that's 0-day duration, 0 hours. They're not typically assigned to someone. So there's a question, can you lock templates that are distributed for plans if you need that governance and similarity amongst project teams? So the way that would work is that Planner doesn't really recognize like formal templates, right? Like when I select new plan, I can't say, like I can say premium and I can say like once I can say create from one of their pre-existing templates. But if I want to create my own, it won't like show up here, unfortunately. The way we would do that is like if I wanted to utilize this project as a template in the future, I would come here and I would select here and I would say copy plan. And I would use that as my starting point because it's going to copy my schedule. So basically, I would just have a plan that I own that only I have access to. And then in the future, when I want to use that as a template, I would come up here and say copy plan. That's how you'd utilize that. So you can lock it for yourself in the case that like you create it or you can just create one from scratch if you know I want to have this project as a template. You can create it and just utilize it. We also have this new AI feature here called reports. So I can come in here and create a status report. And it's going to create based on my schedule. Creates a nice little status report for me. I can share it. Gives me an executive summary, a nice little timeline view. I can also copy this into a presentation. Upcoming action items based on the tasks in my schedule. And then I have charts. This unfortunately is not exportable at this time. But as you can see, I have status, bucket, and effort per person. I also have this people view, and this is where I can like drag and drop. This is actually my favorite view. So what I typically do is I'll create my schedule. I'll assign the first couple of tasks. Let's say I'm gonna have a total of 4 people working on my schedule. I'll assign them to their first tasks. And I typically go to the people view and then drag and drop all the other tasks in the buckets just to save time. With view options, we can also change like right now it's by number of tasks. I can see by hours. And I can turn off compact mode and hide completed tasks to see where they're at. And in my assignments view, this is going to be a very useful view, specifically for tasks that are assigned to multiple people. So I can see here that like the weekend is going to be blanked out. Yes, 2 or more resources can definitely share a task. So right now it's group by resource, but if I go group by task, I can see here on these 2 tasks, I have 2 people assigned to it, right? So this task starts on 6/24. So let's go to 6/24. Oops, went to wrong way. I can see how these hours are broken out. So this task, as you can see, is a 36-hour task, but 24 hours are assigned to me and 12 hours are assigned to Charlene. And I can come in and actually manually change that here. So if I want to like make us have the same amount of hours, I can just come in here and say 8, 8, 8. And now we have the same amount of hours on the task. So that's going to be in the assignments view. For those of you familiar with Project Online, this assignments view is going to be similar to your resource usage view. Now it's looking at daily right now. I can also look at weekly. And if I go group by resource, this is going to tell me by week how many hours I have assigned to each resource. I can also go by month. So I can see the month of June, there's 140 hours on this project, of which 80 are assigned to me, of which 60 are assigned to Charlene. So this is where I can kind of shift some hours to make sure that they're even if needed. Now, if I click on my plan here, I can rename my plan. I can also come up here and delete my plan. Here's the plan owner. I can change this to if I want. I can change the start date, which would shift, everything in here. Here's my percent complete. Here's my custom default work week. So as you can see in the assignments view, right, it's not counting Saturday and Sunday. That's blocked. But if I wanted to shift that, I could come here and actually just say Fridays don't count actually and apply it if I wanted to. This choose from template, it's not a schedule template, it's a calendar template. So unfortunately, it's not a schedule template that you can utilize. Now, how do you visualize the overage or underage on a resource? That's a great question. So you can only view that by plan right now, technically like looking at the assignments view, but what we've developed here at Marquee 360 are planner reports where you can kind of see this resource assignments view. And using this availability heat map, you can assume 40 hours per person. You can see like who's over on their hours. So you would want to use a report for that. You can't really see overage and underage in Planner itself. And we'll look at these reports more at the end of the session. Yes, it is a value added function in 360, yes. So talking about portfolios now, if we look here on our left, we have portfolios. Now, before we dive into this, I just want to mention portfolios is one of the newer features that Planner has kind of rolled out. And for being honest, this is a feature that Microsoft recognized was needed by users and kind of was just pushed out. Like it's, on the roadmap, it's definitely going to improve with time. We don't know when, we don't know how much, like at what rate, but it's obvious that this is going to improve. Right now, it's a very basic feature that definitely has a lot of holes in it. And if you've used portfolios and you're thinking, is this just me? It's probably not. It's just the tool itself doesn't have the full robust capabilities of Planner that we'd really like to see or need when we're doing project management and portfolio management. So I can see here I have my portfolios. To create a new one, I can come here, but let's go ahead and take a look at one of my existing portfolios. So in this portfolio, I have 4 plans that I've added here, right? And if I look at my roadmap here, I can see my 4 plans. And if I click on this, I can see tasks that I've added. So let's actually go plans here, and then let's go back to portfolios. And let's look at my April plan here. So I have these plans. I can see here that when I add a plan, it tells me the progress on that plan. Now this runs on a workflow. So if I were to go into March planner training and mark them as complete, it's not going to be an automatic update. It's going to happen the next time this workflow runs, which is about every couple of hours. I can see the start date and finish date, and I manually can set this to on track. There's no logic that tells me the status. I just have to manually set it. I can do close, off track, not started, or at risk. Now, if I look at my roadmap here, go back to March. I can see my plans here. Now, these that are showing up are because if I click here, I can see that these are specific tasks. So when I add a schedule, it doesn't automatically add all the tasks. I have to come in here and manually choose which tasks I want to show on this roadmap. And then once they're added here, the color coding, I actually have to go in here, so not set, and by task, I have to click on track. So there's no logic here that looks at, okay, has this been started or not? This is not set. But obviously, we are in November now, and this is March, and there's no progress on this task. Obviously, this is behind, or this technically should be High risk because it's past due. You cannot customize the list of items in the status list. No, unfortunately, that's not a customization available at this time. That's one thing about Planner out of the box. The customizations are extremely limited. You really only have customization abilities around automation. So for example, if like in a plan you wanted to say, notify whoever the assigned to person is 3 days before the task is due via Teams notification, you have a task due in 3 days. That's something we could customize. But as far as like the field level, like going in, like creating a field like this field has status, that's unfortunately not customizable at this time by Microsoft. It's locked down. Now, will that change? We think yes, but because it's something they just rolled out, they're kind of locking down the ability for anyone to make customizations to it. Yeah, that's a good use case, Larry. I can click on details here and see the plan. These are our coming here to update items. I can do the same thing by just clicking on the plan name as well. I can see who the owner is. If I want to view and plan, I can click on this to open the actual plan itself. And I can go to a specific date. So just now when I was in November, it takes me to where we are today's date, but I scrolled over to this to see these. I can also add key dates, as you can see here above. So I can say critical date, and I can go ahead and add this, let's say to June. So it shows up. Or you can see that date pop up here. Now, this is essentially all that Portfolios and Planner has to offer at this time. Like I said, this is a very, very new feature that Microsoft just kind of pushed out there. We do expect enhancements to come. One of the enhancements that we're hoping for is that there's field level fields for at the project level, I mean. Um, any questions about Portfolio and Planner before we look at the Portfolio feature in PPM 360?
I have a question.
Yes.
So how do we know we know what we have in our current Microsoft EA, and how do we determine, just broad scope, like what's the one for one here and what you're demonstrating? We've had the classic planner, so
So your planner, so are you saying you don't have the portfolios feature?
well, I'm not sure if we're enabled to use it. I don't know what changes that's incurring. Like you said, they just rolled it out, so.
So I know from a licensing standpoint, so you have to have at least a Plan 3 license to be able to access portfolios. Do you have that
Okay.
license?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, so you should see portfolios on your left, whether it be the traditional planner or planner in Teams. Are you not seeing portfolios on the left?
I don't think I'm seeing it yet, but that could be for other reasons. I just kind of wanted to find out if there was what level and above, like you stated there.
Yeah, Plan 3, you should be seeing my portfolios for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
And some of the features, it's like your admin team needs to like enable or like allow you to use. This shouldn't be one of those. This should not be one of those features. If you have the license, it should just automatically appear for you. Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and move over to PPM 360. So PPM 360, so this is the planner application. This is technically a model-driven application. We have PPM 360 here, which also sits on the Power Platform. It's a model-driven app. Now, this is built in what's called a named environment versus planners in the default environment. So default means anyone in the company can access this environment planner, right? But when we create PPM 360, we put it in a named environment, which means you need to give specific people access to this here. Not just anyone can come in and mess with your projects. Sorry, I apologize. As you can see here, we have the dashboard. This is going to give us some nice overview. And everything we're seeing in PPM 360, unlike Planner, is customizable. So Aaron mentioned the requirements phase that we have. We have an extremely detailed document where you get to go in and customize every single aspect of the tool, and then we develop it for you. So PPM 60 dashboard, these tiles here, this is an area of customization. So right now we're showing all projects, product by type. right? Let's say projects by type isn't a field that you utilize. You want to show by department or by location. We would update that here. You would choose to do that during the requirements phase, and then we develop it for you. Now, the projects here are going to look a little different, right? With Planner, we started off at the project level. Let's go ahead and start the project level here. Here I have a dashboard of all my projects, and this is customizable not just by you for these views, but by the users. As you can see, these are custom views I've created. So if I go plans by business unit, I can see the business unit here. And users can actually create their own, which that covers during training, which we also do during implementation as well. Now let's go ahead and click into a plan. If I click into this plan here, we'll see it's going to look a little different. So what we just looked at was Planner Premium, right? The premium plan. As you can see here, you have all of these tabs, and essentially what we have is additional tabs for project tracking, and we additionally have a tasks tab. This tasks tab is essentially just a Planner Premium plan embedded into tasks. So if you look at our tasks tab here, it's going to look very familiar. So this is the premium plan embedded into this task tab. So anything you can do in a premium plan and planner, you can do here. So we have all of these here. Now reports is outside of this. It's in status reports here, but everything else, goals, board, timeline, everything, as you can see here, my schedule looks exactly the same. Effort hours, you're going to have the ability to create those 10 custom task fields, labels, everything. So everything you're going to be able to do here plus more. Now, we also have additional tabs for project tracking. So I mentioned there's not fields, right? Proper fields at the project level in Planner, but here we have many fields, and then in requirements, you have the ability to create your own. So you can say, well, we really need a department field. Here are the values. Here are the choice drop-down values. And we also have an admin training where we teach you how to update those on your own as well. I have my project charter tab, scoring area, an area where I can create status reports, as you can see here. And those status reports are going to populate in one of our 15 out of the box reports that you also get with PPM360. And this is what the status report looks like. Once again, these reports also are customizable during the requirements phase as well. We also have an area for financials, which can be more advanced if you're using like CapEx, OpEx. You can mark that as well. I have an area for resources, so I can see all my tasks as I add them here, their role, their start and finish date, total effort hours based on my schedule. And we also have an area for risks, issues, changes, decisions, lessons learned as well, which are really nice. And we have this correlating risk dashboard, issues, and changes dashboard, as well as some resource reports as well. Now, on the summary tab here, I can assign my plan to a program and portfolio. So it's a little different than Planner, right? Planner, I have to go to my portfolios, I have to create a new portfolio, come in here and say, I want to add a plan to this portfolio. This gets in PPM360, you're going to get your assignment to a program or portfolio by going to the plan here, and I can look up. So I'm going to select look up here, or I can type the name and I can see all these existing ones, and I'm going to assign it to here. So good question. So in which environment do you actually create and manage projects and portfolios, Planner or PPM360? Well, if you have PPM360, I would recommend doing it there. Otherwise, I would recommend doing it in Planner because everyone's going to have Planner with the correct licensing. Now, from a licensing standpoint, what the license you have for Planner is also the same license you need for PPM360. It's just PPM360 is a solution that you would need to install and then have us customize for you guys. So,
And Stella, really quick, I just wanted to add, our customers who do have PPM360, they utilize both. So we have a sync. If you update in PPM360, it will update the planner and vice versa. So your teams kind of get to choose what they're more comfortable with.
yeah, very true. Thanks, Aaron. That's a good note. So as you can see here, I'm going to assign this to a program portfolio. Now you might be asking, what's the difference between a program and portfolio? So the business definition is that projects within the same portfolio are typically managed in the same at the same fiscal level. So your business might say you have $2 million for this all projects in this portfolio, and you look at it from a financial standpoint. Now, projects in the same program typically have resources that can be shared amongst projects in that same program. So for example, I might have a construction-based program and I have like a foreman or construction workers that I can share across those projects versus in portfolios, that's not necessarily the case. I might have different types of projects that I cannot share resources across from one project to the next. Now, with that said, that's just a typical out of the box business definition. Ultimately, it's up to your company and your business how you want to define those and utilize those. So, not all of our customers stick to that definition. They might have a different definition of what's a program or what's a portfolio. We have a question, clarification question on security. If a project is created in the planner environment, does your whole organization have access to it, or can access be controlled? No, access can be controlled, Mark. So unless you're assigning a task to that person, they can see the task. And then if you come into the plan here, and I like share the plan with the person, share here, then they'll have access to the plan. Otherwise, they won't see the plan at all. Now, PPM360, it uses security rules. So if you have the proper security role, you can see any plan. If I have just team member security role or project manager, I'd only be able to see my plans. So that's managed with security roles. There's also an option here, though, in PPM360, where I can come in and press share similarly and give access to someone regardless of what their security role is. So back on the summary tab here, I've assigned this plan to a specific program and portfolio. So we'll go ahead and take a look at portfolios now. So as you can see here, I have my dashboard view. So let's go ahead and click into our real estate investment portfolio. I can see the portfolio manager is, the KPIs, and the total budget. So all the projects that live in this portfolio right now are currently have a budget that currently equals this much, and actuals and remaining budget as well. So if I click into this, I have my general tab. Once again, everything we're seeing here is customizable, right? So if you have more general level fields you want for the portfolio, you can add these easily here. Like let's say I want like a comments box, super easy to add. Then we have portfolio financials. So this is a roll up of all of the portfolio budget, actuals, forecasts, variance, and remaining. I have my timeline, which is a new view we've recently added here at Marquee 360 to our portfolios. So as you can see here, these are color coded by the current overall health of the project. So I can see start date, finish date, and progress. And I can hover over and see a little bit more additional information, like such who the project manager is. And then I have my projects list here. And this is customizable too. So you'd want to pick like your most important fields, and you can actually have multiple views here as well. Any questions on the PPM360 portfolio feature? Okay, great. So moving on, we also have programs. This is going to be pretty similar to portfolios, the way it's displayed, but our dashboard here instead is going to show us something a little different. We're going to have state, the KPIs. I can see this one, I have 15 total projects, of which 8 are on track, meaning they have a current overall health that's green or on track. 5 are at risk or have an overall health that's yellow. And then 2 are in trouble or have a current overall health that is red. Let's go ahead and click into our real estate rental properties. Our general information is capturing a little more. Once again, customizable. I have status here. So typically during the requirements phase, most customers typically choose to add the additional 2 health indicators, which are going to be scope health and resource health. And then we have the financial, same concept here. The budget rolls up. Now, for those customers that have like specific project level fields, like for example, I had a customer recently that had like department funding plus grant funding, and that equaled the budget. They typically like to see those at the portfolio and project level as well, so that can be customized via a workflow. So we would add those here too. Also, for customers that have like SAP integration or JDE integration, they also like to see those at the portfolio or program level, right? So if you have them at the project level, it also makes sense. You want to see the roll up of that here as well. So we can add those via a workflow. And then I have my timeline view. And my projects list. Now, PPM360 also has a lot of resource management information. If you want to see that, please reach out to Erin or Charlene to schedule a time to discuss that. Now, I want to quickly go through our planner reports. So if you're using just planner, not PPM360, we have reports that you can deploy that can kind of give you some more information that I want to just click through real quick. So we have our planner dashboard here. This is going to be all plans in the tool. And there's a nice linkage here too. So if I want to go straight to the plan, I can click on this to get to the plan. I have the planner timeline. Color coded by plan owner. That's our planner milestone. So these are going to be any tasks that are 0-day duration, 0 hours. Plan timeline. So I can see the plan name with all the tasks. Collapse all. Task overview. This is just a high level overview of all the tasks. I can, of course, use my filters by plan owner to like filter it on more specific information. So like myself here, I can see across all my plans I have. Still has 2 plans, 38 tasks total, completed tasks 14, and for remaining effort completed, and 24 overdue tasks. And I can click into the tasks too, and this will take me to the plan. Also have a resource dashboard, just more high level information, which once again, I can drill into more specific information using my filters. And then I have resource assignments, which has that nice heat map there. Now with PPM360, as I mentioned, you're going to get these 15 reports, which will look at some high level ones. So we have like, for example, the portfolio dashboard, right? So this is where I can use my filters to drill into a specific portfolio. So if I look at that real estate one, I can see all the projects I've looked at in the real estate one. We also have that status report I mentioned. Risks dashboard. This is nice because I can come over here to project manager, select my name, and then I can see, oh, across all my projects, I have 41 open risks with the cost exposure of 119,000, 8,500, and risk by state, impact, and active risks. So I have a question. Is there functionality to evaluate projects qualitatively, rank, prioritize? With PPM360, there is, but right now you can't track priority at the project level in Planner. But we do have like a priority field for projects in PPM360. Hopefully that level of customization is coming to Planner at some point, but right now it's so new that they kind of just want users to use it as is. So I don't foresee that coming until like end of next year, if it's even coming. It's not necessarily on the roadmap at all.
Just because Larry did ask another question that kind of goes along with this tool. So our Intake 360 is an intake app for ideation. So like you were asking for governance when people are creating plans or projects, that app actually has built-in templates that you can control what they can, which templates they should be using for each department, project type. And that's all things that we can work out as we're developing the tool for you guys. But also there is a priority score. So a lot of our customers use that like at end of year planning or beginning of year planning to see what projects are most important and plan for the next year. Larry, if anyone would like to see a demo of just the intake, please let us know because that's a really popular tool, and a lot of times we don't get to it because we don't have time on these webinars. But let us know if you'd like to see that. Sorry, Stella.
No, you're fine. We have another good question. Can you group tasks by users and report hours availability per each team member? With customization in PPM360, you can. Basically, would have to add like a custom task grid. There's definitely a way we could do it. Matthew, I would recommend you reach out to Charlene for a demo. We could show you, we could kind of talk through our approach on doing that. It would require customization PPM360. It's not something that you're able to do out of the box. But yeah, Erin, that's basically all I have. So if there's no other questions, I'll go ahead and pass it back to you.